Good morning, children. Welcome to the class of mathematics today. Today we are going to study about number system, and this is the third video. So this is part 3 of number system. In the previous videos, you people have learned about many things regarding number system, rightly originating from the natural numbers to real numbers, and we had how to magnify the given number line representation. All these things we have learned in our previous lessons. So let us begin today's class. Here we have the properties of rational numbers, that is the operations of rational numbers. Rational numbers, as you have studied in class 8, satisfies the commutative property, associative property, distributive properties for addition and multiplication. Moreover, if we add, subtract, multiply or divide except by 0 two rational numbers, we still get a rational number. That is, rational numbers are closed with respect to addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. It turns out that irrational numbers also satisfies the commutative, associative and distributive laws for addition and multiplication. However, the sum, difference, quotients and products of irrational numbers are not always irrational. In some cases, they are rational also. So let us start with an example. Here we have two numbers, two irrational numbers, and we will see what we get on adding them. The first irrational number is 2 root 2 plus 5 root 2, 2 root 2 and 5 root 3, and the second one is root 2 minus 3 root 3. Now when we are adding, here we have two type of combination. One, we have got a whole number and an irrational number, that is 2 root 2. And in the second part also we have got root 2. Now root 2 and root 2 is common in both. So what we can do is, we are going to do some suitable rearrangement. First of all, we have put these two terms, binomials, because there are two terms, in brackets. Now we are opening a bracket and making a suitable rearrangement. Root 2 numbers terms are kept together and root 3 are kept together. Now when we combine, make combinations of 2 root 2 plus 2 root 3, and in another set we have got 5 root 3 minus 3 root 3. Now let us look at the first bracket. In the first bracket we have got root 2 common. So keeping root 2 common, we have the coefficients along with the root 2. We have in the first we have got 2 root 2, so 2 is the coefficient. Here alone root 2 is written, that means 1 is the coefficient. So on adding, we have 2 plus 1 root 2, and same way for root 3 we are taking root 3 common in 5 root 3 and minus 3 root 3. So we have root 3 in common, and the number of the coefficient comes to be 5 minus 3. 2 plus 1 comes to be 3. So the resultant answer is 3 root 2 plus 2 root 3. Let's take an example of multiplication. Previously we considered addition and subtraction, and here we have multiplication. We want to multiply 6 root 5 by 2 root 5. So the procedure is in this way. In the first step, we will have the root 5 and root 5 together and 6 into 6 into 2 together. So we will have the irrational numbers multiplied together, and we have the rationals 6 and 2 together, and all will be multiplied at a time. So the resultant is 6 into 2 into root 5 into root 5. So 6 2s are 12, and root 5 into root 5 is 5. The reason is both have got the common square root radical sign. So 5 into 5 is 25, and 25 is the square root of 5, and hence on using the laws of exponents, the resultant comes to be 5, and the answer is 12 5s are 60. Now let us consider an example of division. In order to divide 8 root 15 by 2 root 3, the method is we write in the quotient, means in the rational form. It comes to be 8 root 15 in the numerator and 2 root 3 in the denominator. Now root 15 can be written as root 3 into root 5. Now this root 3 in the numerator divided by root 3 in the denominator comes to be root 3 divided by root 3, that is 1. And 8 divided by 2 comes to be 4. So the result is 4 root 5. Let us consider, this is one of the very important question of the given chapter, in which representation of under root of 3.5 on a number line. So first let us consider it separately. How to draw root 3.5? So let us assume that x is equal to 3.5. So what you will do is, first you will draw a line segment AB of length 3.5. Here you will be using the geometrical instrument, students. Please get ready for the class with the geometrical instruments also. Then only you will be able to understand this question, because this is usually asked in the exam. So let us start. First step, draw a line segment AB of length 3.5. Now extend B to C, having BC is equal to 1 centimeter, or you can say 1 unit. Whatever unit you are considering, meter, centimeter, inches, throughout the construction it has to be same. If you are considering 3.5 in centimeter, then 1 will be considered in 1 in centimeter. Otherwise, if you are considering in inches, so again BC will be in inches. So whatever we are using the term here, unit. Now we have first of all drawn AB of 3.5 and BC of 1. Now draw the midpoint. You can use here the perpendicular bisector method. That is, the midpoint of AC has to be calculated. Midpoint of AC is O, and keeping O as the center and OA as the radius, complete a semicircle having AC as the diameter. Now draw a perpendicular on B, touching the boundary of the semicircle at D. Now this distance BD is square root of 3.5. Students, remember, this is the method used to draw under root of 3.5. Now this will be practically used to represent it on a number line. I am having a broader view. See, there we consider 3.5. Now we are having a generalized view. Suppose x is any number and we want to calculate the square root of x. What will be the distance? So whatever be the value of x, you will draw a line segment AB, then having 1 unit, that is BC. After this you will mark the midpoint of AC, that is O, then keeping O as the center and OA as the radius, complete the semicircle. After that, at point B, draw a perpendicular. This perpendicular from B is touching the boundary, the circumference of the circle, semicircle drawn at D, and this distance BD is represented by square root of x. Now we are considering representation on number line. Suppose we have got a number line, and in the same manner you will draw this on a number line. So mark AB. Here the point X is there. So from X till B, this is the particular distance given, whatever is X. Then take one unit, that is till C. Then again draw the semicircle. Then semicircle is drawn keeping O as the center, and on B you are drawing a perpendicular. Now keep the pointer at B and the pencil at D and mark an arc. This arc joins the number line at E, and this point E represents square root of x. Now let us consider the laws of radicals. Let A and B be positive real numbers. Then the first, see this under root sign. Here we have got the square root sign. This is called the radical sign, and the number written inside, that is called the radicand. Now these laws are applied in solving the exercise further, that is exercise 1.6, and what we had considered till now previously, that is in exercise 1.5. So this lesson that we are considering today, it is going to accumulate both exercise 1.5 and exercise 1.6. So remember the facts that we are discussing very carefully so that you can do the exercise. Now coming to the laws of radicals, let A and B be positive real numbers. Then the first law is square root of A into B is equal to square root of A into square root of B. Second, square root of A upon B, it is equal to square root of A upon square root of B. The third law, we have got two brackets, square root of A plus square root of B into square root of A minus square root of B, that comes to be A minus B. This is the modification. We have brought this result as you have practiced in class 7th, the identity A plus B into A minus B is equal to square A square minus B square. Here in place of A we have got square root of A. So square root of A represents A. Square root of A into square root of A is equal to alone A. And in place of B we are having square root of B into square root of B, that comes to be B. So A plus B into A minus B is A square minus B square, whereas when you are using the radical sign, then square root of A plus square root of B into square root of A minus square root of B is equal to A minus B. The fourth identity, here we have got the radical sign only with B, that is A plus square root of B into A minus square root of B. So this comes to be A square minus B, because square root of B whole square results as B alone. Now the fifth identity, square root of A plus square root of B into square root of C plus square root of D. Here as we used to multiply two binomials, the same process, we are going to multiply square root of A into both the terms, then square root of B into both the terms. So the result is square root of AC plus square root of AD and plus square root of BC plus square root of BD. Now the sixth identity, square root of A plus square root of B whole square. This comes from A plus B whole square. Previously you have discussed this identity in the previous classes, that is A plus B whole square is equal to A square plus 2AB plus B square. But here we have got the radical sign. So this results as square root of A plus square root of B whole square is equal to A plus 2 root AB plus B. Let us consider some examples which are based on these laws of radicals. Let us simplify the following expressions. The first part is 5 plus root 7 into 2 plus root 5. Now we are multiplying 5 by both the terms of 2 plus root 5. So 5 into 2 comes to be 5 2s are 10, and 5 into root 5 comes to be 5 root 5. So 10 plus 5 root 5. Now let us multiply root 7 by both the terms. So 2 into root 7, 2 root 7, and root 7 into root 5 comes to be root 35. Now the second question, 5 plus root 5 and 5 minus root 5. So this is again a plus b into a minus b is equal to a square minus b square. So in place of a we have got here 5. So 5 square is 25 and root 5 square is 5. So 25 minus 5 results as 20. Coming to the third part, square root of 3 plus square root of 7 whole square. Here we have a plus b whole square. So the result is a square plus 2ab plus b square. So in place of a we have got root 3. So root 3 whole square is root 3 into root 3, that comes to be 3. And 2 root 3 into root 7, that is 3 7s are 21, that comes to be 2 root 21. And root 7 square is 7. Now 3 plus 7 comes to be 10, and the result is 10 plus 2 root 21. Now the fourth part, that is root 11 minus root 7 into root 11 plus root 7. Here again we have a plus b into a minus b. So a square comes to be root 11 whole square minus root 7 whole square, that is 11 minus 7 results as 4. Now a very important property, to rationalize the denominator. For rationalizing the denominator of 1 upon root 2, as you know that root a into root a is a, that is root a whole square is a. Here in place of a we have got 2. So 1 upon root 2. Now you are making an equivalent fraction. You are multiplying. We will decide the rationalizing factor of root 2, deciding with the help of the denominator. In the denominator we have got root 2. So root 2 into root 2. We are multiplying by denominator. That means we have to multiply with the numerator also. So this comes to be 1 upon root 2 into root 2 upon root 2. Now in the numerator we have got 1 into root 2, that comes to be root 2, and root 2 into root 2 is 2. Now let us consider another question. Rationalize the denominator of 1 upon 2 plus root 3. Now we use the identity 4 given earlier. We have to multiply and divide 1 upon 2 plus root 3 by 2 minus root 3. So the rationalizing factor is decided by looking at the denominator. Here the denominator is 2 plus root 3. Hence the rationalizing factor is 2 minus root 3. So if you multiply, we are framing the equivalent fraction. If you are multiplying the denominator by 2 minus root 3, we have to multiply with numerator as well. So the result is 1 into 2 minus root 3, that comes to be 2 minus root 3, and in denominator we have got 2 plus root 3 and 2 minus root 3. You will make use of the property a plus b, a minus b, and 2 square is 4 and root 3 square is 3. So 4 minus 3 is 1, and 2 minus root 3 divided by 1 comes to be the same number, that is 2 minus root 3. Now let us consider the next question. Rationalize the denominator of 5 upon root 3 minus root 5. Here the denominator is 3 minus root 5. So the rationalizing factor will be root 3 plus root 5. So making the equivalent fraction, you are going to multiply the numerator as well as the denominator by root 3 plus root 5, and the result is 5 multiplied by root 3 plus root 5, and in the denominator we had root 3 minus root 5 and root 3 plus root 5. So making use of the property a plus b, a minus b, it comes to be root 3 square minus root 5 square, that is 3 minus 5, the result is minus 2, and converting in the standard form, the negative sign is considered in the numerator, so it comes to be minus 5 upon 2 into, in the numerator we have root 3 plus root 5 in a bracket. Now further, one more example. See, we are considering different type of examples, and these examples will help you in solving the exercise questions. So rationalize the denominator of 1 upon 7 plus 3 root 2. The denominator is 7 plus 3 root 2. So the rationalizing factor will be 7 minus 3 root 2. So you are multiplying by denominator, same you will multiply by numerator as well. So the resultant is 1 multiplied by 7 minus 3 root 2 comes to be 7 minus 3 root 2, and the denominator is a square minus b square. So a, in place of a we have got 7, so 7 square is 49. And now see here the term 3 root 2. Taking the square, 3 square is 9, root 2 square is 2, and 9 2s are 18, and 49 minus 18 comes to be 31 in the denominator. Numerator we have the same thing, that is 7 minus 3 root 2. Now the laws of exponents, which you have already studied in the class 8th. The first law, bases are the same here. A to the power m into a to the power n is equal to a to the power m plus n. A to the power m whole raised to the power n becomes a to the power m into n, and a to the power m upon a to the power n is equal to a to the power m minus n. Here m is greater than n. And the fourth part is a to the power m to the power and b to the power m. Here both have got the same powers. So we will have the common power and the bases will be multiplied, that is a and b. What is a to the power 0? We have studied in the previous class, any number raised to the power 0 is 1. And when we are considering the term 1 upon a to the power n, we have got the negative exponent, that is a to the power minus n. Students, remember this property will be used further in the exercise. Now let us consider some examples. We have 17 to the power 2 into 17 to the power minus 5. Here both have got the same basis 17, and we have the multiplication. Dot means the multiplication sign. We have got the multiplication sign in between, so the new exponents are added. So 2 plus minus 5. So minus 5 negative sign we have, so minus 5 plus 2 comes to be minus 3, and making this negative exponent positive, we will consider 17 to the power 3 in the denominator. It comes to be 1 upon 17 to the power 3. Now coming to the next example, it is 5 to the power 2 whole raised to the power minus 7. Here both the exponents are multiplied. So 2 into minus 7 comes to be minus 40. 5 to the power minus 40. The third part, 23 to the power minus 10 upon 23 to the power 7. Both have got the same base, that is 23. Now because we are dividing, so the exponents will be subtracted. Minus 10 minus 7. So it comes to be minus 17. Coming to the fourth part, 7 to the power minus 3 into 9 to the power minus 3. See, both these terms have got the same exponent, minus 3. So having the common exponent, the radicands will be, the bases will be multiplied, that is 7 into 9 comes to be 63, and the resultant is 63 to the power minus 3. Suppose we want to do the following computations. We have got here 2 to the power raised to the power 2 upon 3 into 2 to the power 1 upon 3. Here we have 2 as the base. So the exponents will be added. That is 2 upon 3 plus 1 upon 3. That comes to be 3 upon 3 and 2 raised to the power 1. In the second part, we have 3 to the power 1 upon 2 whole raised to the power 4, and the resultant comes to be 3 to the power 4 upon 5 because the exponents are added. Now in the third part, we have 7 to the power 1 upon 5 and 7 to the power 1 upon 3. So bases are the same, but there is division. So 1 upon 5 will be subtracted from 1 upon 3. And in the fourth part, both have got 13 and 17 have got the same exponent, and hence 13 will be multiplied by 17 and the common exponent will be 1 upon 5. Now look here. A to the power, some more laws, that is a to the power m upon n is equal to nth power of root a whole to the power m. This property will be used when you are studying logarithm in the higher classes. Similarly, this can also be written as nth power of a to the power m. Now further, a to the power p raised to the into a to the power q is equal to a to the power p plus q. Here we are just generalizing whatever laws of exponents you have studied. Then double power, in place of m and n we are having p and q. So just I want to correlate that like m and n we can use p and q and also have the same laws of exponents. Now let us consider some more examples. Just we had considered previously. So whatever we considered in that previous slide, I am just explaining how to calculate. We had 2 to the power 2 upon 3 into 2 to the power 1 upon 3. Now both have got the same base 2. So the exponents will be added. That is 2 upon 3 plus 1 upon 3 comes to be 3 upon 3. And 2 to the power 1 is again equal to 2. Now the second part is 3 to the power 1 upon 5 whole raised to the power 4. Now we have got double exponents here, 1 upon 5 and 4, and they will be multiplied. So the answer is 3 to the power 4 upon 5. Now the third part, 7 to the power 1 upon 5 and 7 to the power 1 upon 3. We have got here division. So the exponents will be subtracted. So on subtracting 1 upon 5 minus 1 upon 3, the resultant is 7 to the power minus 2 upon 15. Now the fourth part, 13 to the power 1 upon 5 and 17 to the power 1 upon 5, both have got the same exponent. So the bases are multiplied, and hence 13 into 17 comes to be 221 raised to the power 1 upon 5. Thank you very much.